I'm Ian Rush and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Oh, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored Match Build Up show. Liverpool taking out... Without even on camera. Go wide, go for a wide up. Do the wave. Liverpool taking out Southampton at the weekend. We've popped in on Friday to film this where it's just Chris and I. No, you know what? No, it was a decision made. We thought it was going to be the best to have it this way, so let's politely stick to that. I'll be honest, Chris. I'm really looking forward to this game. Straight off the bat, there was a lot of going into the Spurs game. Let's rewind the clock a week. Going into the Spurs game, it was Jurgen Klopp's first game in charge, and there was a real feeling of like nervous trepidation. You know, I love the guy we've got in to do the job. I like the way he's handled himself so far, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, there was so much pressure. I don't want us to be shit. I don't want any more excuses, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've had 2 draws on the bounce under him now. But by the end of that Kazan game, and I know we should, look, ultimately Liverpool should be putting teams like that to the sword. But I feel like even though the results haven't improved since the manager's taken over, I genuinely feel like Liverpool are, it's not necessarily the steepest of upward curves at the moment, but I do feel like we're heading in the right direction on the pitch.
I fully agree with all of that, mate. I just think we've made improvements all over the pitch, defence, attack. There's some real key players that have started to really step up at the moment who under the previous regime weren't doing the best that they could do. I feel that there's a togetherness, not just about the team, but about the club, the owners and the fans at the moment. Yeah. And I think that was personified, and just how much an improved atmosphere it was against Ruben Kazan. You know, when you consider that in contrast to FC Sion, night and day, the two atmospheres. And I think that it's gonna be just as good on Sunday at home to Southampton.
Did you just sneak one out there, Aubrey? That's disgraceful. Well, we're on a show.
Live-ish on YouTube.
That is an absolute disgrace. You just don't get that LFC TV. The director just sneaking one into the fabric on the other side of the camera. It's a weird one because I guess if you're from the outside looking at it, and I know there's fans of other teams who watch this channel, watch these shows, and hello, I feel sorry that you don't have a fan channel of your own that's as good as this. I think from the outside, it's absolutely true. But from the outside looking in, I think people, if you just looked at the results, I can see people go, "Oh, Liverpool being excited." The fact of the matter is, you know, I go to games. And the vibe is there, the positivity feels there. And what's kind of great is that, as I said, even though the results haven't necessarily, you know, there's been no mad swing and upturn in our fortunes in terms of points and wins or what have you. There's a tangible difference there, and also that thing is, there's been a weight that Liverpool have been carrying for, to be fair, 25 years, but also since we came so close under Brendan Rodgers, that last season we've been carrying that around, and it feels like that weight's been not completely shifted, but it's been alleviated to some extent. I kind of, and I said this before, I feel as though I trust the guy in charge to get it right. So like when we're starting with Divock Origi up front, if we'd only had him as our fit number 1 striker 3 weeks ago, I'd have been like, we're fucked, we've got no chance here. And ultimately the results probably would have been the same, but I just feel, you know, and it's the way the manager's carrying himself, the way he's talking about things, everything feels so much happier. The one person we didn't discuss on the Final Word show after Ruben Kazan, and I wanted to save for this one. I want to get your thoughts on it, Chris.
Phil
Coutinho.
I think that you've just spoken there about alleviating pressure and stuff. I don't think it's been alleviated from him in any way, shape or form. I think he feels at the moment, especially with Origi up front, and this might be part of the reason, he feels that he is the man, and he's crumbling under the pressure of that to a certain extent. I feel like he's trying too hard to take the game by the scruff of the neck and score goals and stuff like that. Like, it's bad when you criticise someone for trying too hard. It doesn't make much sense. But
he doesn't lack for endeavour. And let's be fair, we've seen players in those positions at Liverpool and all over world football who, if they had half of the endeavour that Phil Coutinho's been showing in these last 2 games, they would have been absolute world beaters. But you're right, it's just not It's not working.
It's not
for
clicking for him at the moment. And again, I say I do believe it comes down to pressure, but I also think that it's going to happen. I can see that in his game. You know, he's just in a bad bit of form. Yeah. Every young player goes through this, and Phil Coutinho is a fucking young player when it comes down to it.
Yeah, he is. Because I was going to make the point of just look at how Sterling's thriving at Man City. He's not the main man. He's gone in there, and we said this in the summer. He's going to go to Man City, and he's going to be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best player. And that's going to allow him to grow his game and to get better. And I think that the problem is, of course, with that is that Sterling's, I think, 2 years younger than Coutinho, maybe even 3. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because that's what YouTube comments are for jumping down people's throats who are slightly inaccurate on things. But I think he should be. I think he should be better than he is, and I don't know quite what that is, because I think let's look at it from the another perspective. Lallana is a more senior player, rightly and rightly so because of his age and what have you. But Lallana's putting all the effort in, endeavouring. I guess the net result actually isn't too different, but I could say Lallana's had 2 very good games, and I think Phil Coutinho's had 2 very poor games. I don't quite know what the answer is. What is it? Just do you think it's maybe a case of he just needs a goal, or what? No, or resting,
I actually think that he needs a forward in front of him. I think that'll alleviate some of the pressure, because at the moment I think he doesn't trust that Divock Origi is going to get the goals. If he was able to provide an assist for him, or a nice pass for him, a chance created, if you will. I think that if you put Daniel Sturridge in front of him, he just looks a better player. You know, he knows where Daniel Sturridge is going to be running. He knows what type of balls he likes. He just knows his game a lot more. I think when you're such a good, like a number 10 or something around there, it's a very difficult position to play. You need to have players in front that you know what they're doing. You need to know where they're going to run so you can make those passes, because actually sometimes you look friggin' stupid when you make those passes and the run's not been made. And I feel that he doesn't know where the run is, so he's taking a shot. I think if he's got a striker that he trusts in front of and he's comfortable with, his game will be much improved.
I want to see him get in the box more. You know, I know he does we've said this time and time again, he does so much of his best work around the edge of the 18-yard box, but I think it's telling that I think what Lallana's doing better is that he's breaking through. He's looking to play a little give and go and get into the box. Phil Coutinho's looking to be the guy who gives rather than goes. You know what I mean? You know, he's looking to be the guy before the guy, which I think is ultimately his best thing. But in terms of what we've discussed on the final word show, look at the way Liverpool's attack lines up. You've got your main centre forward here, and then you've got the 2 sort of nipples here. No, you got the 2 guys either side who were supposed to be supporting that. I think Lallana is doing a lot better at getting up alongside and getting in beyond the centre forward. But Phil Coutinho's still not quite doing enough, I don't think. And the fact of the matter is, I just think he's got so much culture that if he was to get into the box, and I think you're more likely to score when you're shooting closer to the goal, which sounds ridiculously... Well, it's ridiculously simplistic logic, but the fact of the matter is, and we said that again, going back a few weeks, if it was easy to score goals from 30 yards or 25 yards or 20 or 18 yards, people would score them all the time, all game long, and Coutinho I think he just needs to get himself into more dangerous positions to make himself a little bit more dangerous in that regard. What do you think then to a potential case of, and look, he came back from injury, we've still not seen enough from the season, he's got a lot to prove his price tag. Firmino, is there a chance that he could come in for Coutinho?
I don't think this week, no. I really don't. I don't think he got enough minutes on the pitch. I think they'll already... I've done my starting 11 prediction show. I think there's going to be 2 changes. I think that's enough.
Okay.
You know, he's proved to me, I saw little glimpses again, that he's on the right track. He's going to be a good player for us, Roberto Firmino. I've got full confidence in that. We need to find a formation and a position that suits him. I don't think we found that under Brendan Rodgers. I think we can find that under Jurgen Klopp. I think Jurgen Klopp will look to get the best out of Firmino. He's not being written off, I would suggest, certainly. I think there's scope for Phil Coutinho, Roberto Firmino and Adam Lallana in the same side in the not too distant future.
If we sort the defensive midfield Yeah, exactly. It'll be very interesting to see. I think a lot is going to depend on. I think a lot of that going forward is going to depend on Christian Benteke. And here's another question: Does he come in?
Watch the starting 11 prediction shows to find out.
I think he does. If he's not featured as, I think he's not featured at all on Thursday, or if he got like the last 5 minutes or something, I don't necessarily think he would do. But I think it's likely that he'll start. But what I'm kind of getting to is that Benteke, he looked really rusty, and big fellas do that. It takes them a little bit of time to get up to speed. I know, still haven't got up to speed 32 years in. But the thing is that if he can be that all around centre forward, that'll make it a lot easier for us to put more attacking midfielders around him, I guess. Whereas if he just isn't just a target man, then I think we might need to get more. We might need to end up with another supporter, another striker in support of him, or whatever. It's going to be interesting.
For me, if Benteke does come in, he needs to occupy the two centre backs, and then we'll see the attacking midfielders running into space. That's the key thing for Christian Benteke. If he's there, he needs to occupy those players, and we need to support him. And I think we'll get some decent results from that.
One thing I think you can say is, just from what we've seen of, let's presume that we're going to stick with the same formation, and I kind of feel we probably will do that until at least Jordan Henderson comes back. Is that we don't isolate that one centre forward as much anymore, or he isn't left isolated. Lallana's getting a lot closer. Coutinho's getting closer, perhaps not close enough. But what we should be better at with Benteke in the side is bringing those others into play. Emre Can's going to get forward a lot more. Milner's going to be a lot more advanced. If he holds it up, it allows us to get forward on the floor. But equally, if you're booting it up to him, little flick downs, knockdowns, and flick ons, I think we're far better set up to capitalise on that.
Yeah, definitely. And what would be really interesting for me is when Benteke does come back into the side, where does Daniel Sturridge fit into all of this? Because that's the real interesting question for me. There's rumours that he's going to be fit enough for Sunday, whether he'll start on the bench or he'll start up top.
Yeah, I guess.
We don't know.
I'd guess bench.
Of course.
Yeah.
The bench,
what's
our best side?
I don't know. You know what?
It's nice, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And you know what's best about it is that I'm not stressing about that fact. Again, let's rewind 2-3 weeks under Brendan Rodgers, and it was the state of where we'd gotten to under the manager, was that we all thought we knew better. Whereas even though I think deep down we should all have known that none of us knew better. He knows a lot more about football than all of us. It's unequivocal. Klopp is far better at football and at being a football manager than any of us. And I trust on him to find a blend that works. And again, as we said the other week, what that means long term for someone like Daniel Sturridge, I don't know. But ultimately, I love Daniel Sturridge, and I really want him to thrive at Liverpool. I want him to fulfil his potential at Liverpool and be an absolute goal machine. But if it doesn't work out, I'm so much more laissez-faire about the whole thing. I kind of trust it, just to let the manager build whatever side he wants to build. And I think we'll see that more and more. Like I say, I want to see what he can get out of Benteke. I want to see what he can get out of Sturridge. And I think it's actually really exciting. And again, Firmino as well. There exists the potential that at the weekend we could have Firmino, Benteke and Sturridge available to us, and I think what a side in potential that can be if we can find a way to get that working for us. It could be very exciting.
I think when everybody's back and fit, we've got a great first 11, and it's about how we meld that into a good team.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if this tramples on anything from the starting 11, but well, let's go with it anyway.
You've already trampled all over the starting 11.
But let's
twice.
Do you think there's a potential for Daniel Sturridge? Let's say we stick with that formation of the 4-1-2-2-1. Let's say where Coutinho's playing, which is the left hand side of the attacking place. Do you think Daniel Sturridge could drop into that position?
No, not for me. No. Daniel Sturridge, for me, naturally drifts to the right, cuts back in and looks to curl the ball in. I don't see. I haven't seen enough of him on that side to say that it's natural for him. He's a good footballer. I'm sure with time he could learn to do it.
Could you flip that with Lallana? Could he play on the right
Lallana
hand
could
side?
play the left hand side. Lallana plays left, centre, right. I've said all along, and we did it on the formation show on the redmentv.com a couple of weeks ago, that our best side for me, let's say we're playing the 4-2-3-1, is Sturridge on the right hand side, Firmino maybe in the centre, Coutinho on the left hand side behind Benteke, but Sturridge is more advanced than the two of them. He's almost playing as a second striker.
That's a boss like Tyrannosaurus Rex impression.
Fucking fine, that bit.
Yeah, no, I'd be very interested to see it. I say just at the very simplest point, I'm back to being excited again. I'm back to looking ahead to the games, not having a real clue what we're doing, but looking forward to seeing what we get out of this team and what's coming next. So no, very, 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 very interesting and potentially exciting, and just a win would be nice.
Yes.
Score prediction?
Well, we can draw with anyone.
We can on our day.
So I am going to go against that and go 1-0 to the mighty Reds.
Cool. I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool, because what I think the natural progression is to get yet another 1-1, but this time just fucking smash through.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Just do that, because I said it before.
Excited now.
Yeah.
Can we do the show again?
That felt.
I'm in a much better mood now.
Let's go again. I think I got that. Like I said, that. I think I described it on the final word of that, like that righteous fury of, come on, let's smash through these and let's get the winning goal. You know?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the edit for later.
Right, so smashing through, just smashing our way in. Fuck, tits, bastard, shit, arse. And I think it's important for the team to be able to do that, and because how do you restore confidence in your side? People say, "Oh, go in 4-0." Well, no, that's about running before you can walk. I think it's important that we get that resolution in the side, which I feel is there, and I feel is getting stronger and stronger. But just having that ability, just to, a 2-1, or to be fair, even a 1-0, getting a late 1-0 when all the pressure's on, that I think that feeling of relief will be shades of Andy Dufresne in the fucking water. That was another one. At the end of it.
You did as well. You snuck that one in there, mate.
So in case you're wondering what
Fuck's
it is,
sakes.
in case you're Chris has been charged with the job of, this is the Uncensored Match Build Up Show, and it's always going to be the Uncensored Match Build Up Show on YouTube, but it's going to live on another platform as a censored match build up show, and Chris's job is to go through and beep it.
And it's a nightmare. We're an absolute nightmare. Do you know the problem with us is, once we say one, we can spout five in like 10 minutes. I really wouldn't want to watch the show. There's times when just beep.
It's subconscious, like it is. The F word, fuck, is basically used, gets used as a comment. So if you wonder what the rustling is on the microphone every 30 seconds, that's what it is. It's Chris Code time code. Let us know your thoughts on the match in the comments.
Yeah, we only had 2 before you spotted that I'd done this. Now we've got 7 or 8 and a lot of beeps in between.
Let us know your score predictions in the comments below. Who would you start? Would you be interested to see Daniel Sturridge playing in a sort of attacking midfield role? Do you think that would suit him, or would that be a waste of his talent? As an example, like Martial was doing it for United in Europe on the week, playing from a more of a left-hand side role, cut inside, got his goal. So I think there's definitely a case to be made. If you agree or disagree, of course, that's what the comment section is for. That and for abuse. Use it as you wish. Use it wisely. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the shows on the redmentv.com. Also check out this week's podcast, where we chat about general biff, less about football, more about the behind the scenes of Redmen TV, and just shite in general. Sorry. You know what? Fuck it. It's fucking YouTube. We want to live on another platform. It has to deal with that. Chris, I apologise for calling you it. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you soon. Ta-ra.
He signed Adam Lallana card. If you can see that, look at that. The first shit card signed by absolutely anybody. He's going right wing.